Hey divas. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Please let me know if you can hear me. Happy Tuesday. Please let me know what my sound is looking like. Please. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Pink Table Topics. Hello, hello, hello. Do I sound far away? Let me know. Teresa, do I need to move my mic, sis? Let me shift it a little bit. Oh, Teresa say I'm loud and clear, girl. I'm back. Hey, ladies. Welcome to Pink Table Topics. I am your host and good sis, Pink Diva. Thank you so much for joining me. As you're pulling your seat up to the table, please don't forget to hit the like button for me. Feel free to drop down and leave a comment and also engage in our topic and turn those bell notifications on so that you'll be notified each and every time I drop a new topic. As you know, our mission is to create a safe space for women to gather as a community, engage in healthy dialogue regarding real life issues that we as women deal with on a daily basis. But most importantly, y'all know it is to foster the true meaning of sisterhood. Hello, 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 and welcome, welcome, welcome to the table, divas. How is everybody doing? I hope you've had an amazing day. I hope you had a great weekend. I missed you all last Tuesday. Shout out to my sis, Teresa Wright. Hey, sissy. Thank you for always pulling up. You know, I appreciate you. My sister from another Mr. Chit Chat with QT is in the house. Hey, sis. I hope you over there sitting with that knee kicked up over there. She says, I have to work late. Can't be in the chat. Big deadline. That's okay, sis. Take care of that knee over there. Hey, Mama V. Mama V is in the house. Hey, Janice. Janice Marie is in the house. Hey, sis. CDW is here. Hey, Rosemary. Thanks for joining. April is in the house. Hey, sis. Thank you for joining. Thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all. How are y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I hope you've all had an amazing day. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. I didn't get a chance to touch base the week after Thanksgiving. We were doing a lot of community service stuff, so I didn't have the opportunity to actually touch base and jump in and say hi and do our live that Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I was volunteering for the Toys for Tots. I think that was for the Salvation Army. So I didn't get a chance to touch bases with you all, but I missed you, ladies. I missed you all so much. Um, let's talk. What's our tea at the table? Before we get started, I'm not going to keep you long. Shout out to all of my Sagittarius sisters that are here, to those of you that are celebrating birthdays within the month of December. Shout out to you. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday, upcoming birthday, or whatever. It's our time to shine, y'all. So happy birthday, happy birthday. 'Tis the season to be giving back. Y'all, I am so excited about Christmas. Y'all know Christmas is my favorite holiday. Not just because of, receiving gifts or anything like that, but I really, really love community service. I really love spending time with family and just doing all of the things and just being able to just give back. Hey, Reem Bass, thanks for joining, sis. Just being able to just give back. But y'all also know that this is scamming season. So be careful, be careful, be careful with your passwords, with your banking information, your credit cards, and all of that kind of stuff. I had, this weekend was horrible for me. I had a horrible weekend. Two reasons. One, I was sharing with a couple of you all, my uncle in Chicago had a medical emergency on this past weekend. He was at a friend of his house and he ended up passing out. He passed out. He was at his friend's house, just sitting in the chair. All of a sudden, just passed out. They called 911. Of course, 911 had them trying to give him CPR until they could get the medical team there to get the ambulance there. My uncle coded twice, y'all. He coded twice. We lost him twice. Once before the ambulance got there and once when they got him to the hospital. And when I say, and this is why, again, when I say to people, I don't know about y'all, but God is real. God is real. You hear me? When I say that God is still in the miracle working business, because had it not been for him, my family would have been planning a funeral. Do you hear me? We would have been planning a funeral. When I say the prayers of the righteous availeth much, listen, it was hot. It was just it was a lot. His children are younger than me and my siblings, so they were younger, so they were freaking out because they were at work. My aunt Cleo from back home in Mississippi, she and my dad was calling me. And you know how you'll look at the phone, you see a missed call, and you say, you know what, I'll call them back when I get a little time, not knowing what they were calling for. But when I started to get those calls back to back, and my dad called and he was like, did you hear what happened? And I was like, no, what's going on? Because, at the same time, my aunt was calling and I'm like, what in the world is going on? So then family members just started calling and telling you what's going on. And they had gotten him to the hospital. Thank God, again, like I say, he coded twice. The doctors don't know what was going on. They're running an extensive amount of tests trying to find out what the issue was, because something underlining happened to cause him to be that way. My uncle has worked all of his life. He just retired from the city of Chicago, has been working there ever since I was a little girl. He just retired October. He just retired. So he's always worked, always busy, always going. And you know how we do. We just get so busy and so caught up with what we got going on. We don't sit down and rest until our bodies will force us to sit down and rest. And I don't know where the episode come, but what I thank God for, because my uncle is not married. And my uncle usually rarely go anywhere, but this particular day, he just happened to be by one of his guys' house. And I just thank God that he was not by himself, because he lives alone. And I just thank God for what that situation could have turned out to be. And because he was at his guy's house, he was with someone that had the opportunity to call 911 when he became unresponsive, to get him to the hospital. And they were able to work on him and get his blood pressure and everything back up to normal. And it was scary, y'all. It was scary. And, and a lot of times people always try to relate the scripture where God says in the Bible that man should not be alone. A lot of people try to relate that to, you being married or having a significant other. That's not the only piece that he's talking about, but just basically having people in community with you, like people, friends, that you can call on when you need something, if you're going through situations like this or what have you. So we just thank God. Like I say, God is always on time. God is still in the miracle working business. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not here to preach religion. I'm not here to tell nobody what you should be believing in, the universe or whomever it is that you believe in. But I believe in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And I know that had it not been for him, we would have been planning a funeral right during this Christmas holiday. And so it was a scary situation, but we thank God. We're thankful. We're waiting to hear what the test results are, to kind of see what was going on. So thank you for your prayers. Those that reached out, those that are praying, thank you for praying. Continue to pray and keep him lifted. But I just thank God for always showing up and being God and being exactly who we know him to be. And it's a blessing. So when I say it's a blessing to be in the land of the living, it is a blessing to be in the land of the living. God is good. God is great. And he is all of the things. And we just thank God. Then my next situation, when we was talking about the whole scamming thing, and I'm telling everybody to be careful because people are in the process of trying to scam and all of this kind of stuff. Those of you that know that, my business account with my business. So my daughter, her Facebook page was hacked. Her Facebook page was hacked last week. Wednesday, I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday. Her Facebook page was hacked. And we didn't know what was going on. We was just getting calls, saying like, hey, is something wrong with her page? Because something inappropriate was posted on her page. And we're calling her like, hey, what's going on with your page? And when she tried to get into it, she couldn't get into it. Her page was completely shut down. Her page, because she, through her Facebook page, she created our Instagram business page. So it was connected to her login. And when they shut her Facebook page down, we lost our Instagram page. Our business Instagram page, our Kiki Sweet Treats and Events LLC. That page got completely wiped out. We had to we had to go through trying to appeal the situation through Meta, trying to appeal her page being shut down. The person hacked into her page, went in and changed the password to her email, and she can no longer get into it, which completely wiped our business page out. That caused us to lose our monetization. We lost the whole page, all of our photos, our images. We lost we had over 4,000 subscribers on that page. We lost everything. I have been working my butt off since last Wednesday we had to start a new page, trying to get it built back up and put all the images back on it and all of that. Girl, when I say I have been over it, I have been over it. I was completely over it. And so y'all just be careful. And I just hate the fact that when situations like that happen, especially with the whole Facebook, Instagram stuff, when situations like that happen, they don't notify you that somebody is trying to hack into your page. They let it get all the way to the point to where the person has had the opportunity to get into your stuff and go in and change the password, and then the page is shut down. And we just know we started getting messages from Meta saying that our page violated something and it went against community guidelines and all of that kind of stuff. It was a mess. So this past weekend was a doozy for me. Between that and the dealing with the situation with my uncle, it was just a doozy for me. So it wasn't a good weekend. But again, to God be the glory, right? To God be the glory. I say maybe the Lord just wanted us to do a cleaning and a cleansing going into the new year. I don't know what the reason is. There's always a reason for why God allowed things to happen. But I was devastated. So I'm still working and trying to get that rebuilt and get everything back up. So y'all just be careful when you're online doing your online shopping and you're putting your passwords into certain sites. Be careful with your banking information and your credit card information. And if you got to go in and update and change your passwords or whatever the case may be so that you can keep your information safe. So do that. Next thing is to the book club divas. I hope you all have been reading and you are enjoying the book. Our December Pink Table Book Club meeting has been scheduled. It will not be on our regular third Saturday. It will be on Tuesday, December 16th at 6:30 p.m. So like today's live, the typical Pink Table topics will not be. Next Tuesday, we'll have the Pink Table Book Club. So I hope you are reading the book. Teresa say I'm behind. Girl, I got to get caught up too, Teresa. I was so stressed out over this weekend. I did not get the opportunity to pick that book up. But I am going to read tonight. And pick it back up. I can get it read though before the 16th because I'm pretty much of a fast reader. So our book 3 is the book 3 of the Mistress series is Mistress Inc. by Niobe Bryant. Book 3, Mistress Inc. by Niobe Bryant. Janice says, I am about to start reading tonight. Good, sis. Go ahead and read. Hey, Lady Sweetness is in the house. Hey, sis. How are you? Hope all is well. Thank you so much for joining. But next week, Tuesday, December 16th, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Gia says, I finished it on Friday. Did you, Gia? Did you like it? Without giving too many details, did you enjoy it, girl? Gia says she finished last Friday. I have to get finished. I will be finished by the weekend for sure. So that is Mistress Inc. by Niobe Bryant. That is book 3 of the Mistress series. That is our December read. I have already scheduled the live for December the 16th. So make sure you go turn your notifications on so that you won't miss it. Make sure you don't. Make sure you also take some time tomorrow morning to tune into my Wednesday morning Pocket of Peace segment. This week, the topic is choosing joy on purpose. Choosing joy on purpose is another good one. So please feel free to take a few moments to check it out. And also this coming Friday morning segment of Spilling the Business Tea, we're talking about the Soft Life CEO, running your business without burnout. Running your business without burnt out. Gia says, yes, it was good. Thank you, sis. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thank you, Teresa, for posting that. Mistress Ink by Night, Obia Bryant. Robin, did you start the book? Did you get caught up, sis? I know you were trying to get caught up on the second book. Did you get caught up so that you're able to join in on book 3? But thank you, y'all. So let's get into our topic. Hey, Titi. I don't know if I spoke to you, sis. Hey, sis. Thanks for being here. I hope you all are staying safe and out of the snow. We got a lot of snow tonight as well. Actually, it's been snowing the last couple of days. Oh, okay, Robin, good. Robin says she finished all of them. Good. So you right on time and ready for our discussion next Tuesday. Good for you. But to those of you that are surrounded by all of that snow, those of you that are in Chicago, Midwest, and surrounding areas, stay safe out there. It is ugly. It has been snowing every day for the last 3 days here. It snowed overnight last night. We're supposed to get some more overnight tonight. So y'all just make sure y'all stay safe out there. This is the season that I'm so grateful that I work from home and I only go out there if I absolutely have to go. Janice say, oh, sorry about the snow for y'all. Oh, don't even try it. Don't even try it. Don't act like you ain't accustomed to this snow over here, sis. Hey, Deborah. Deborah says it's 70 degrees here in Vegas. Girl, don't even be trying to throw it up in our face like that. Girl, it's 19 degrees here. A whole whopping 19 degrees with snow. You hear me? The snow that's been on the ground since the first snow is still on the ground. And it's just been piling on top of that. Teresa says, my granddaughter lives an hour from me and they got 4 inches. We got none. Oh my gosh, girl, talk about 11, 12 inches. We've been getting dumped with 11 and 12. Janice says 74 here today. Girl, bye. You got jokes. You got jokes. Don't even try it. I am so jealous. 74. I wish. Titi said they didn't get that much. How much did y'all get, sis? Girl, our first snow, we got 11 inches. And then after that, we've been getting 6 and 7. Every time it snowed, it's just piling on. And you know the one thing that really disturbs me about the snow, we're getting all this snow now, but I will not get snow on Christmas. I can bet you any kind of money we will not get no snow on Christmas. And the one thing that I always want is a white Christmas. That's the one thing I've always wanted, and I have yet to get my white Christmas. It'll snow the weeks leading up to Christmas, but it will not snow on Christmas Day. Look at Janice talking about she had her toes out. Girl, go away from me with that. Yes, sis, we're going to put Janice in time out because she being real braggadocious right now. Talking about some 74 with her toes out today. Gia says it's 64 in Dallas today. I'm ready for at least one day of snow. Girl, I'll take that 64 degrees. You hear me? I'll take 64 over 19 any day. Any day. You hear me? Teresa said we haven't had a white Christmas since I was in elementary school. Girl, I am yet. And don't be done now, Janice. You stirring the pot talking about some 74 with your toes out. I would love to have 64 degrees. You hear me? I would absolutely love to have me a 64 degree day. But anyway, look at Deborah said I had my toes out also today. Don't even do that, Deborah. That is so insensitive to those of us who got to bundle up and put our snow boots on, our hats, our gloves, and coats and all of this kind of stuff. Don't even do that. That is so not nice. Don't even do that. But anyway, y'all, let's get into our topic so that I don't hold y'all here long. As y'all saw in the thumbnail, we're talking about navigating sisterhood. Tonight, we are just taking a walk through the bonds, the sisterhood that shapes us, the friendships that lifts us, challenges us, and reminds us that we're never walking this journey alone. We're talking about choosing healthy connections, creating safe spaces, and honoring the women who pour into our lives. We all know that sisterhood isn't perfect. We know that by far. But sisterhood is a powerful thing when you're connected to the right people. So tonight, we're learning how to navigate those sister circles with grace, intention, and love, because friendship, true sisterhood, all of that can be a blessing. It can be a sanctuary. And sometimes it can possibly be a crossroad. Some friends stay forever. Some friends change with the seasons. And some friendships challenge us to grow while others quietly drain our peace. So we're going to talk about how to tell the difference, how to cherish the bonds worth holding on to, how to release the ones that no longer serve our growth, and just how to be present, how to find peace, and how to protect our heart, and just helping each other navigate what real sisterhood looks like. So before we get started, I want you all to drop a heart in the chat if you value your true friendship circles. Drop a heart in the chat if you value your true friendship circles. And if you've ever had to rethink a friendship for the sake of your own peace, I want you to drop the praying hands emoji. Have you ever had to rethink a friendship for the sake of your own peace? Did you ever get to a point to where, you know what, I just don't think this friendship gonna work out and I'm just gonna have to let this one go? I see some hearts. I see some hearts. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to see who's in our circle tonight. I agree. I see Teresa put the hearts and she put the praying hands. So you've had friendship circles, that you value, and you also have had to let some friendships go. Okay, Janice, Gia, Mama V, Robin, Reem. Okay, I think we're all on the same page. We've all have some friendships that we really value, and we've had those that we've had to let go. So we're on the same page. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this, I don't know if you all watch the content creator, your friend Trend. Her podcast is called Friend Fusion. I watched an amazing Friendsgiving episode. She's one of my favorite content creators when it comes to talking about friendships and sister circles and stuff like that. And over the holiday season, she hosted a Friendsgiving amongst herself and all of her girlfriends. It was about 10 of them, 10 of her really close friendships. Deborah put a heart, Angela put the heart, Titi put the heart. Okay, we seemingly are all on the same page. So she hosted about 10 of her, it was about 10 of her close friends, and they were talking about what they were thankful for within their friendships and just how to navigate relationships between their community of friends. And it was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to play some of it so we can discuss it. I listened to the whole hour in its entirety, and I have like 3 pages front and back of notes that I was taking. It was good. So if you get the opportunity to go listen at it again, she is on Instagram. She is called Your Friend Trend. And on YouTube, her podcast is called Friend Fusion. Friend Fusion. Amazing. And she gives like friendship advice. She talks about friendships and sister circles amongst women a lot. And she asks a lot of questions, give a lot of different feedback that'll give you a different perspective and kind of have you evaluating, you and yourself and how you're actually showing up as a friend yourself. So I really, really fell in love with her content. And I just really, really love that about her. I'm a huge champion of women building community amongst each other. Y'all know that I love hearing about friendships being built, how people are connecting, women are connecting with each other, seeing women traveling and just communicating effectively with each other. That's always my goal, is to foster the true meaning of sisterhood. That's always my mission. And just in my own personal life, I have an amazing tribe of women that I call my sisters, because some of us have built our friendships for many years. We know each other, we love and support each other, we respect each other's time, we fellowship together, we travel together, and we really make it our business to add value to each other. And that's very important. We can talk for hours and hours on the phone without missing a beat. And then there are some times that we may not hear from each other, but we don't make that big mistake of just making a big deal out of it, because we know life be lifing. Let me pause. I don't know about y'all, but life has been lifing lately. Life be lifing, but we always pick right back up where we left off with no issues. So shout out to my sisters that's in the building, that's listening in, that don't never drop down in the chat. I love y'all. We don't always agree on everything, but we know how to talk through things. And it's always good to just get a different perspective. The one thing that I pride myself on, and I say this all the time, and that is my ability to be a great friend. If I call you my friend and my sister, that is exactly what I mean. You are my friend and my sister. When I say I love you, I really mean that I love you. My mama always used to tell me, in order to gain good friends, you have to know how to be a good friend. And that is a standard that I have always lived by. I speak those same words to my daughters all the time. My friends that I've been in community with for years, many years, and those that I just met, they tell me all the time, they like, sis, you are a great friend. And I appreciate them for recognizing that in me, because that's really, really something that I pray for. I don't know about y'all, but I always pray and ask God to continue to make me a great friend to my friends. Even in my morning prayer this morning, I was telling God, Lord, thank you for giving me the capacity to be what my friends need me to be. I pray about my friendships. Do y'all pray about y'all friendships? Because I take my friendships, I don't take it lightly. I really do value the women in my life. And I really want to make sure that I have the capacity to be what my friends need from me when they need something. Because life gets hard for all of us. And sometimes, people be dealing with things in their own way, and sometimes silently, right? People don't always tell you, because sometimes it's so overwhelming. I may not can tell you what I'm going through while I'm going through it, and that's absolutely okay. And you may not be able to share it with me, and that's absolutely okay. We may not always have the capacity to be what our friends need from us sometimes, and that's where we as good friends need to know how to give grace. That's where grace comes from. A lot of times we don't know how to be. We don't have the capacity because we got our own ish going on, like really going on. And I feel like a lot of times, if we really told you what we were going through, it would blow your mind. And a lot of times it'd be so much, we don't even want to overwhelm you. We so overwhelmed. We don't want to overwhelm our friends by just dumping and pouring everything on them. So, just we need to get better at just giving each other grace, because we've talked about this before. It's so easy for us to cut off our friendships, but we'll let these Negroes be in our ear telling us this, that, and the third, and we'll give them chance after chance after chance after chance. But when it comes to our girlfriends, we will cut them off without a second thought. We don't even give them grace. We don't even give them the opportunity to say, hey, well, you know what? Maybe you took this the wrong way, or this, that, or the other. Of course, we ain't crazy now. We know when you're trying to play us to the left and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, I really want us to get to a space to where we give each other grace before we just decide to just flat cut you off for something that could possibly be a total misunderstanding. It could have possibly been a misunderstanding. So I was just asking myself, for me, what does it mean to really keep your friends, not just have friends, but to maintain the friendships that you have with intention. Because this is stuff, and I know a lot of times, when we're praying and all of these things, we pray and ask God for things and ask God to show us things and give us signs. One thing I know about God is he ain't gonna show me and give me nothing about nobody else before he give me and show me. He's going to show me my shortcomings, what I could have done better, how I could have responded better. He's going to show me before he show me anybody else. And that's one thing that's always my prayer, to just keeping friendships mean for me, just showing up even when my own personal life get busy. And I always try to make it my business to do that and be that. I always try to check in. It may not be as frequent as you may want me to be, but I always make it my business to check in. I defend my friends. You can't nobody come to me and talk negatively about my friends. You can't talk to me. I don't care how you feel about her. You better not tell me you feel that way about her, because that's my friend. You won't be able to come to me and negatively talk about anybody that I call my sister, my friend. It's about being honest, even when the truth is hard. It's about loyalty. And again, it's about grace. And sometimes we have to give each other the hard truth. We have to give each other the hard truth. And one hard truth that I had to learn was I had to learn to stop expecting me out of my friends. I had to stop expecting or assuming that they would do or be or handle things the way I would. There was such an humbling experience for me, y'all. And it really challenged me to do and be better. Because, a lot of times, we handle situations or do things totally different. And we just automatically assume, our friends, family members, or whomever should behave or react the same way we would have. And that's when we set ourselves up for disappointment, because we're expecting how we would respond. We're expecting them to respond the way we would respond, and that's how we always set ourselves up for disappointment. And that is what it's all about. It's about recognizing our own shortcomings, because when we really peel back the pieces, sometimes we overlook the roles we played in a disagreement. We're always so quick to point the finger and say, well, you said this, or you acted this way, or you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Sometimes we overlook the role we played in. Like, we sometimes aren't always 100% innocent, in our response and our behavior. We forget to ask ourselves, like, what did you do? Or what did you say? Or how could you have handled that differently? And that's one of the things that we really need to make sure that we are, just really being honest with ourselves about how we are showing up as friends, and just stop expecting so much. I feel like friendships, sometimes we put too many expectations on our friends, and we just expect them to be a certain way or to do a certain thing all the time, and I think that that's where a lot of times it causes strain for the relationship, especially in today's society. Life is hard for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Life is really hard. You got people going through stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about. We got people losing jobs. We got people losing loved ones. We got people divorcing, losing relationships. Friendships are splitting. And, life is hard. People dealing with issues with their kids. It's just so much going on. And I feel like we need to just show a little bit more grace. Just show a little bit more grace and learn how to remove you from the situation, because a lot of times how a person is behaving has nothing to do with you. It's everything to do with them. It's something that they see in you that they don't see in themselves. And that could come off a lot of different ways. It could come off a lot of different ways. And that's why I always pray, that Lord, just give me the opportunity to just be able to grant grace, and also to be able to get grace from my friends when they feel like I'm not showing up the way they would want me to show up. Janice says, ain't that right? To expect the same that we would do is crazy. I'm so guilty of this. We've all been guilty of that at some point. Teresa says, facts. He will show you yourself before he show you anyone else. Absolutely. Deborah says, yes, I had that really bad expecting me out of other people. And it's heartbreaking too, Deborah, because we walk around and we're like, well, I would have never, said that to her. I would have never, treated her that way or done that thing to her or whatever. And we fail to realize, well, you know what? That person ain't you. You can't expect a person to respond the way you would respond or to handle things the way you would handle things. Teresa says, a lot of times we are the common denominator. You are so right, sis. A lot of times we are the common denominator. Let's Be Clear is in the house. Hey, sis. Thank you so much for joining. She says, hello, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late, sis. No problem at all, sis. No problem at all. But sometimes we are the common denominator, and we have to just make sure we are doing things and saying things the way that we would like to be done. Hey, Erica, Yvette is in the house. She says, stopping by to hit the like button and to support. Thank you, sis. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you for stopping by. And for many of us, our friendships started in certain areas of our life. Some of us, we met at work. Some friendships we met through other people. We met in different stages of our lives, but if we don't invest in those friendships, if we don't nurture those friendships, the bond can easily fade away. And keeping friendships is intentional. If you are intentional about the friends, and I ask myself all the time, and I have a lot of sister circles. I do, because I love women. I am the biggest cheerleader for women that you probably would ever come in contact. I love seeing us gather and come together and laugh and enjoy each other's company and just be, what we need to be. The world is already against us as women, especially Black women. The last thing we need to do is be against each other. And the sooner we realize that we need each other now today more than we ever have. We need each other. We need our friendships in the relationships with our sisters. And I've come in contact with a lot of women who say that they don't have friends. And I really, really pray that you find that one, and you don't have to have a large group of friends. It could be that one or two friends friendships that you really value, and women that really can pour into you just as much as you pour into them. I really, really pray that every woman can find and have that. And it may be in a sister or whomever, because a lot of times we grew up with sisters that, when we grow up with sisters, and they spoke about that in the podcast. One of the things that they spoke about was one of the ladies said that she found that women who grew up with sisters in her family didn't really have a big need for friends outside of their sisters, because they had that in-house friendship with their sisters, and they could build that relationship with their sisters, and they didn't really have a need to have friendships outside of their household. But then there were situations to where you grew up in a household to where you weren't close to your sister, or you didn't have sisters, and you needed or wanted, to have those friendships outside of your sisters, to just build, that bond. Like, who wouldn't want, a sister? My sister is 7 years older than me. So I didn't get and she called me her baby doll. So I didn't get the opportunity to have like a best friend relationship with my sister because she was older than me. She was 7 years older than me. So I didn't get that. And a lot of times we don't get that. We have sisters that, it's unfortunate, but there are a lot of sisters who don't even get along today. And a lot of times it's like that with us as women. We tend to find family and sistership in friends. Our friends become more like our sisters sometimes than our own biological sisters. And, I don't care how the relationship forms. I just want everybody to have sisterhood. I just want everybody to have friends that are really friends. And I'm talking about good friends. I'm not just talking about people don't respect or value you. I'm just talking about really, really good friends. My prayer is that everybody find that if you don't have it. Teresa says, I'm 8 years older than my sister and we don't have it either. We love each other, but the friend part is missing. Absolutely. That's exactly where it is with mine. We don't have a relationship to where it was close. We're not close in age, so it's a huge gap, and that's understandable. Like you say, we of course love each other, but the sistership is not there, and that's the part that's missing. Love her truly, but she's not my best friend per se, if that makes sense. She's not my best friend. And another thing that was mentioned in the podcast was the fact that life moves in seasons. Um, and so do friendships. And I think that's a piece that we miss as well. We aren't the same women that we were 5 years ago. We weren't we may have been friends since elementary school, but we're not the same people we were in elementary school. We're not the same people we were last year because life changes. We're ever evolving, and that's a good thing. And our needs and our values and our priorities start to shift. Some friendships are roots. They are grounded, they're enduring, they're unconditional. Some friendships are seasonal. They're beautiful, they're purposeful for the moment, meant for a time and a season. And some friendships are assignments. They are sent to teach us a lesson. They're sent to shape us, to prepare us for what's to come and what's next. None of it is wrong, but many of us don't always understand how to tell the difference. We don't understand that, some people are only in our lives for a season. Some people are those roots that's going to be there. We're going to go through thick and thin with each other. We've been through the fire and we still came out holding hands, still loving each other, all the things. And some people come into our lives for a specific assignment. And once that assignment is over, they're no longer a part of our life. And it's a simple transition. It comes easy. We don't feel like it comes easy, but it really did, because it really wasn't any beef. It's okay for you to remove yourself from being a friend or being in community with another sister or a friendship that you had without there being beef. We don't have to be beef just because we're no longer friends. It's just that the seasons change. It's just that we serve the purpose in each other's lives, and that's okay. Has anybody, to those of you that are listening, have you ever had a friendship change because your season was up? Did you have a shift in a friendship because it just, the season was up, whether it was your season ending or their season ending? I've had a friendship end. And I tell people all the time, when you truly value a friendship or what you thought was a friendship with, someone that was in community with you, it feels like a breakup. It really do feel like a breakup, like you're going through a situation like a divorce. Because I tell people all the time, divorce feels like a death. It feels, because you're changing, you're losing something, you're losing a part of yourself that you once were. You're losing somebody that you once were in community with. Like, we shared stuff with each other, we shared secrets, we went to brunch, we went to church together, we hung out, we had sleepovers at each other's house. And losing those friendships feel like it's a death. It's like a chunk of you is missing, because I really did value that friendship. And I went through a season of losing a friendship that I thought was a friend, but at the end, when I started to pray and God started to show me things and rewind the hands of time and put all of this stuff in my face, I realized I was more of a friend to that person that person was to me. That person was never my friend, but I was the friend. But that still does not negate the fact that that friendship change hurt. It was because, more so because I was more disappointed in, the friendship shift, because I thought we were better than that. I thought, I really thought we were friends. Girl, when I say the red flags that was missing, it could be red flags in sister circles, right? You can have red flags in your sisterhoods and your friendships and all of that kind of stuff. You can have those, but you miss it when you are genuine in the love and adoration that you have for that person that you call your sister and your friend. It hurts when something changes and then that dynamic shifts and we're no longer in community with each other over something so small. And that's the thing that I never really understood when it came to us with our friendships. It can be the smallest thing and we'll be ready to cut somebody off without a conversation, without us trying to fix it. I don't think we put a lot of time and attention into trying to fix our friendships like we do these relationships that we're in. Hey Pat, thanks for joining, sis. Stay out of that snow. Thanks for joining, sis. Love you. Sharon says yes, but we're still friends, but not as close. Definitely different. Yeah, you'll start to feel like there's a shift in it. And you know what? That's okay. It's okay. We just have to learn how to navigate through it without there being beef or any hard feelings. Or, sometimes we just grow apart. Sometimes, we move away. Sometimes we get married. We have children, and it's a lot of stressors that comes along with like our everyday life that could possibly put a strain on our friendships. And one thing I don't like though is we can be besties, kicking it, hanging out, doing all the things, and sometimes when the friend or myself end up getting married, the friendship starts to change. Why is that? Or when we start dating, you ever had a friend to where y'all cool and all, but every time she get a man, y'all friendship change? She stopped hanging out with the group, and it's always now she's more in tune with the dude and don't never have time for the friend group anymore because she always want to be with her guy. But then just as soon as something happened with that guy, she right back. I don't understand why we do that as women. Why is it that we feel like when we get a man, we no longer need our friends? Our friends become on the back burner because I don't believe in having a relationship with a dude that's going to tell me I can't have my friends anymore. Or I don't want you to hang with this person because that female is single and I don't want you hanging around with single chicks and all that. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with, my man trying to tell me that I can't have my friends because at the end of the day, these friends were here before you got here. And these friends are going to be here when you decide that you no longer want to be a part of my life. I'm going to always have my friendships. So I cherish the relationships that I have with my friends, although we know how to respect each other's spaces. That's even what I have married friends that are married. I'll text before I just randomly call if I know her husband is home. I'll text and say, hey, you free? If she says she's doing whatever she's doing with her husband or whatever, I allow them that space. I don't just, pop up and, I know that she has to spend time with her husband. So I don't try to interject in that way. And I respect that. And it's not a situation to where they feel like, okay, I can't hang out with y'all anymore. I can't make the plans and I can't travel with y'all or any of that kind of stuff. I don't allow my personal relationships to interfere with my friendships because I be needing my friends. I don't know about y'all, but I be needing my girlfriends. Like, I need to talk to my girlfriends and talk to you about some stuff. I can't talk to my husband about everything. Everything is not meant for him. I need my girlfriends, and sometimes we need to surround ourselves with each other so that we can pour into each other. Like we pull strength from each other. And I need friends that's going to hold me accountable. If I stepped out of line and I did something I shouldn't have done as my friend, you should value me enough to call me out like, sis, I get what you're saying, but you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have said it that way, or you should have, moved a little differently. Like that's what friendships are about. And if I get offended because you're telling me something that's for my own good, then am I really a good friend? Sometimes we got to remove self out of the way and really look at the bigger picture. And that's why it's so important to make sure we are grounded in our friendships and we're surrounded by women who want the best for us as much as I want the best for you. I would never, as a friend of mine, you should know I would never tell you anything that's going to hurt you. I would never tell or do anything that's going to disrespect you or to make you feel less than, who you are. If I say I love you, I love you. Erica says, yes, I've had several seasonal friendships in my life. However, like many seasonal things, it usually returns at some other stage in your life. Absolutely. And a lot of times when friendships kind of like fade off for whatever reason, a lot of times they will resurface. Sometimes down the road, those friendships will resurface. My daughter is going through that situation right now. She had a situation with one of her friends and they stopped talking. It's been probably like 3-4 years. And now the friendship, the young lady reached out to her and they've started back communicating. Of course, it's not like it was before because they were best friends. But the young lady reached back out to her. And a lot of times people just go through stuff, and this is again where grace come in. It's easy for us to say, nah, don't come over here now because, when I needed you to be here for me, you weren't there. We don't tend to show enough grace. Although, we're human. We feel how we feel when we feel it. Some stuff is just blatant and just in your face and just disrespectful. We ain't standing for that. However, we do need to allow grace. We do need to allow grace. Let's Be Clear says, I felt the same. April says, I definitely have. Hey, April, did I speak to you? If I didn't, my apologies, sis. Thanks for being here. Teresa said, that's the biggest mistake we make is putting a man before your friends, family, and especially children. Absolutely. Because we need to have those friends we can lead. I can't talk about everything to my children. Definitely can't talk about everything to my husband. So I just really, really just need who don't like, I love a good girls' night. Who don't like, girl, I got some friends, y'all, we be on the phone for hours. Hint, hint, if you're listening. Girl, we be on the phone for hours and hours. We'll look up, it's 4 or 5 hours, and it feel like we just got on the phone. We'll have a whole shift just on the phone. Like, who don't need that? And I know life get busy, but still always try to make time for your friends. Just like you make time for anything else, make time for your friendships, to nurture your friendships, and to just communicate and connect with each other. And look at Teresa, there wouldn't be us. Teresa, girl, hours and hours and hours. You hear me? Teresa says the men don't put you ahead of their book. Absolutely. And that's a great point. I'm glad you said that because that's another thing that came up on the podcast. Men do not put you before their guys. They're going to still hang out with their guys. They're going to still go shoot pool, basketball, play their video game or whatever it is they do when they're kicking it. They do not put their wives or their girlfriends before their guys. They still hang out with their guys. But us, for whatever reason, we turn into this superwoman and just feel like he's our only focus. He's the center of my attention. I don't have any time for anything outside of this relationship that I'm trying to cultivate with this man that I'm with. And we put our friends, our girlfriends, on the back burner. But men do not do that. Men do not do that. And we are so guilty of that, y'all. So guilty of that. Deborah says, yes, yes. And when the guy leaves you, have your friends back. And that is when you learn your true friends will always. Absolutely. Because we pop right on back up in there. Right back in there. We'll sit over there and we'll say, okay, we're just going to let her bump her head. She'll be back. Just as soon as he do something that she don't like, guess who she calling? Then you want to sit on my phone and talk my ear off. And you just keep taking him back after he keep doing everything. And then you forget that we supposed to be cool while you with him. And then when he leave you, we the first people you call. That's why it's important for us to not do that. Always continue to cultivate our relationships with our girls. Teresa says, exactly. That's where our real friends come in at. Hold me accountable. And our husbands too, that same support group. Absolutely. I totally agree. Deborah says, and sometimes it doesn't be the men. Some women, when they are in relationships, they cut themselves off from their friends. Absolutely. It don't even have to be the man telling you, I don't want you to be cool with who you are, who you're with. Um, it's just a woman. And I don't know why. I don't know. I haven't ever been like that. I have never cut my friends off just because I was in a relationship with anybody. I remember when my husband and I got married, I was busy. I was a busy bee. I had a lot of stuff that I was involved in and all of that kind of stuff. And the one thing that I thank God for, he was not that man that tried to change me. He did not come in and try to tell me, well, you can't be in this group and that group and doing this, that, and the third. You're always gone and this, that, or the other. I had so many coworkers that would ask me all the time. They would see the pictures of our girls' trips and all of that kind of stuff. And one of my coworkers asked me, she was like, your husband let you go on girls' trip? Girl, the way I swung my head around there, I say, let? I said, what do you mean? Do my husband let me go on a girls' trip? I was going on girls' trips before I met my husband. My girls' trips don't stop because I have my husband. I say, so I don't know where that came from. Absolutely not. I don't stop anything. The same thing that I was doing when I met him is the same things that I'm still doing now. And he's absolutely okay with that. It's never been a problem. It never is a problem. He just stepped right in. He know his role. He play his place. But he know when it comes to him, I don't play about him either. But I didn't have to change, or I didn't have to I didn't make my friends feel like that I was putting them on the back burner just because, I'm newly married or I'm in a relationship. That's why it matters the person that you are in community with. It matters the people that you are meshing with, the type of people that you have in your life matter. Anytime it's a friendship, relationship, or anything, and those people come in trying to change who you are, you need to reevaluate that relationship, because you shouldn't come in trying to change who I am. You should actually come in and enhance who I already am. Don't come in telling me, well, when we get together, you're going to have to stop with the girlfriends and y'all can't do this, that, or the, don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing that. Teresa says true, and mess around and find themselves alone. Absolutely. Absolutely. Erica says, I think women in general need to stop using the term cut off, meaning if we do have seasonal friends, we should welcome them back like the prodigal son or daughter if they need us to be their friend. I totally agree. I totally agree, Erica. That's again where we were saying, we need to be able to show each other grace. We don't know what a person is dealing with or have dealt with that made them need to, need a break. Sometimes you need a break. It's okay to even need a break from your friendships. And there's nothing wrong with just saying, hey, sis, I'm going to be MIA for a minute. I just need some space, because we are allowed to separate ourselves so that we can go through whatever it is that we're going through. And I don't have to be connected to my friends every day, all day. I'm not that type of friend. I don't feel a certain kind of way because you didn't text or call me today. I don't feel a certain kind of way because you didn't invite me out to dinner and you invited the other ladies out. Like, I don't take offense to that kind, because 9 times out of 10, I'm busy anyway. But if my girls call and say, hey, we need to get together, I am going to make space for my girls. If you need me, I am going to be there. But I am not one of those friends that are, what do I want to call, how do I want to, I'm not a smothering friend. I don't have to be connected to you all day, every day. Just because you didn't reach out to me today, I don't feel a certain kind of way because you didn't reach out to me. I'm just not that friend. I really understand that, obviously she must be busy if I didn't hear from her, or you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I have to be everywhere with my friends all the time. I love seeing my friends out making friends with other women and, kicking it with other friends. I don't have to be in your space all the time. I don't have to be connected every single day. My best friends live back home in Mississippi. And with space, we don't see each other all the time. We don't talk to each other as much as we used to talk. But guess what? As soon as one of us call, we pick right back up where we left off, as if we talk every single day. Anytime there is a milestone happening in either of our lives, guess who's on the phone? We have our checkpoints, we have our group chats. We check in with each other. We're there for each other when we need, but we understand that, life happens. We busy. You may be in school. You may be working 3 jobs. You may be trying to navigate the children or whatever the case may be. We're not so stuck on the whole, well, I ain't hear from you. So like Erica say, you cut off. I'm just cutting you off because you don't call or reach out the way that you used to. I understand that things change. I understand that people go through seasons to where we out here just trying to make it. Everything is hard, and we out here just trying to stay afloat. We're trying to keep it together. Some of us out here in therapy and people don't even know. And some of us drowning in certain areas and people don't even know. And the last thing I want to have to hear is all of this back and forth to somebody that I call my sister or my friend. We don't want that. Like, I'm already dealing with some stuff. And as your friend, I don't have to know every single thing about you. I don't have to know every single thing. I feel like as your friend, when you feel comfortable enough to share a certain thing with me, you will. And if you choose to not to, I don't hold that against you either, because I won't be able to share everything with you in just one setting. If the situation don't come up, or if we're not happening to be talking about a certain topic or whatever, 9 times out of 10, that thing hasn't found its way up for us to talk about or to discuss or for me to share with you. But I don't feel I don't feel like I have to know everything about you. As long as you are the same with me when we are together, I don't feel no negativity. I don't feel no bad vibes. I'm not hearing about you saying this, that, and the other about me behind my back and all of that kind of stuff. I don't have to be like, we ain't got to be in each other's face all the time. We ain't got to do that. Janice say girl time is super important. It sure is, sis. Absolutely. Hey, CC. Thanks for joining, sis. Thank you. I appreciate you, dear. Yes, Janice, girl time is super important. Super important. Teresa says my husband love it when I say we're having girls night out. I know that's right. Or my husband, just for whatever reason, he think every Friday night I be out with the girls. He be like, oh, so y'all ain't got no cold pink tonight? No. Where y'all going tonight? I'm like, I'm not going anywhere, especially in this snow, y'all. I be in the house as much as possible. But he looks forward to it too. So I thank God for him, because I didn't always have that, Teresa. I had an ex that was not like that. So when I say I thank God for my husband, it's because I have what I didn't used to have. I have now what I didn't have back then. So I'm forever grateful for my husband. In real life, Teresa said, I had a lady ask me, did my husband let me go to Vegas without him? Child, he not only let me go, he paid for it and took me to the airport and was there to pick me up and enjoyed the stories. You know what? I think that is a little abnormal for a lot of people, because people be really finding that really weird that, you are a whole married woman, but you be out here kicking it with your girlfriends like you single. And I had an ex one time that used to try to tell me, oh, you be hanging out with these chicks that's single. One thing about a woman, period, baby, listen, can't no friend, sister, or whomever make me do anything. If I do it, it was my own choice to do it. Can't nobody make me do nothing. You can be the biggest 304 out here in the streets as you want to be. I still love you because you're my friend, but I don't have to do what you're doing because you're doing it. I don't have to. So I don't know why a lot of these men be thinking that. I really don't. Teresa says, my real friend circle know when I need my alone time. But if I'm missing for too long, they're calling. If they can't get me, they're calling my husband. Absolutely. And that's the thing about when I say the time that we take to really nurture our friendships, these friendships that we really care about. We know, like, if you know your friends, you can sense, you have friends that are really outgoing. You have some friends that are really introverted, and they're not really into the rah rah all the time. And when you have some that just like, okay, I have peopled enough, now I need to step back for a minute so I can reground myself and do the things that I need to do for me. But we also know, like, okay, I haven't seen you, in the group chat in a couple of days. Now I'm getting ready to text you personally, or I'm getting ready to call you like, hey, you good? You need to talk, or what have you. Or if I see every time, we're saying, hey, we're getting ready to do this or go here or there, and you're never available anymore, and you used to be available, that's when it's time to step back and say, okay, well, let's see what's going on. Maybe something is really going on. And, maybe it's time for a one-on-one conversation so that I can reach out to that friend and say, hey, I noticed your absence. And that's what friends is all about. You notice when your friends are absent. You notice when they're not showing up the way that they would normally show up. And instead of thinking that it's a bad thing, like, oh, well, who she thinks she is, she ain't reaching out, she ain't texting, she ain't hanging out with us. Maybe, just maybe, something could be going on. Maybe she could be dealing with something. You know what I'm saying? So let's just get out of the habit of automatically gravitating toward the worst instead of thinking that something could possibly be going on. Let's remove how we feel about it out of the way. At least you owe the friendship, the friend a conversation and just say, hey, sis, you good? And then allow them the opportunity to tell you, like, hey, y'all, listen, this is happening, this is going on, haven't had a chance to check in, and all of the things, right? Just give them the opportunity before we automatically just start thinking the worst. And we, as women, sometimes, if we honest, we do that a lot. We automatically just think the worst instead of saying, maybe she must be dealing with stuff. I'm gonna give her a couple more days. Now, if she don't pop out in the next couple of days, then I'm on her line or I'm pulling up. That's how it should be, giving each other enough grace to just not automatically think that, they really just acting a certain kind of way. April says, I agree with Teresa. Real friends know your patterns. Absolutely. Real friends definitely know your pattern. Teresa says, please hit the like button if you haven't already. Thanks, Diva. Thank you so much, sis. Erica says, not a clingy or a needy friend. And neither am I, Erica. I am not a clingy friend, and I am definitely not a needy friend. But I am a friend. I just feel like I'm always available for my friends. They can text me. I'm like, can you talk? And I'm like, yeah, girl, yeah, call. If I'm doing something, I make time for my friends. But then there are times to where I need to step back. There's times that I need to step back because I don't have the capacity to deal with nothing that nobody else going on. Have you ever been in a space to where it's been so much going on just in your own personal life? And even if you've been that strong friend for everybody else and you always are available for everybody else, sometimes you just need to step back and shut down. Sometimes you don't have the capacity for anybody else to dump what they have going on in this period and space in your life at this time. Sometimes it's okay, and it's okay. It's okay for us to need a moment. Be okay with just giving your girlfriends a moment. Give them a moment to be able to navigate whatever it is that they're dealing with, and give them the space to get to a point to where they are ready to share. You can't expect people to be ready to openly and ready to share with you what they're what's going on with them right away. Sometimes we got to process that stuff. Sometimes, it's so overwhelming to me. I need to process it before I can even share it with anybody else. For myself, like, I need to, think it through. I need to try to figure it out. I need to come to terms with it. So show grace. Just let's show some grace. Just let's show some grace. Pat says, Pink Diva, I agree with you 100%. Erica says, I have had several friends that I've met at other places to become friends with longtime friends of mine. They will end up going more places together than they do with me. And I love that. I do too. I champion that. I cheer that on 100%, Erica. Y'all can go here, there, and everywhere. I be sitting there like, yes, look at my sisters, girl. Just post the pictures. I'll comment under the pictures and like, y'all look good. Look like y'all had fun. Like, I literally will not feel away. Like, I'm gonna cheer you on, sis. I love to see y'all outside kicking it and hanging out. I feel no ways. Cause a sis be tired sometimes and I can't make it. And that's okay. We can't make everything. We can't be everything all the time. And that's absolutely okay. We need space sometimes from friends, just as well as we need space sometimes from our significant others, because I be needing my me time. I don't know about y'all. I be needing my me time. I don't care if that means me coming in my she shed and just spending time by myself while he in there doing whatever he doing, wherever he's at. Sometimes you need that separation of space from friendships too. And that's absolutely okay. It's not a bad thing. Sometimes we need to just regroup and get ourselves back together, so that when we do get back together, we're all on one accord. Teresa says those are called micromanaged friends. Girl, I ain't micromanaging no friend. Hey, Melanin Beauty, thanks for being here, sis. Girl, I ain't micromanaging nobody. Or the ones that be peeking from behind the scenes. Like, I saw you posted a picture that y'all was out eating. Why you didn't invite me? Everything is not an invitation for you, and that's okay, especially when you are friends with people who have other friends, because you'll have friendships that where you don't know this group of friends. This is a whole different group of friends, and you can't expect to tag along with me every time I'm with this circle. You know what I'm saying? And you'll feel a certain kind of way. Well, you don't never do that with us, and you doing that. Don't put me in a position to choose. Don't do that. Don't put your friends in a position to feel bad because they are forming relationships with other women. You too should form relationship with everybody. Just because we're friends, that doesn't mean you can't go out and be friends with nobody else. Why would I feel a certain kind of way because you're going out and making friends with other people? You should open yourself up to be friends with whomever you want to be friends with. I don't have any beef with you having other friends, and I don't like for people to do that, because I feel like true friendships. Hey Lisa, thanks for joining, sis. How are you? She says, hey everyone, joining late. We'll do the replay. Thank you so much for catching the replay, sis. We appreciate you. I remember having a friend that really didn't want you to have friends outside of like the circle that it was. I never understood why it's a problem because you have other friends in other areas. I feel like the more that we can build relationships, the better. You just need to make sure whomever you are building relationships and friendships with, that they actually add value to who you are. Pay attention to the conversations that y'all are having around the table. And I do that all the time. I'm very, very observant amongst my friendships and my friend circles. When I'm sitting there, I be paying attention to the conversations that we be having. And I really be asking myself, like, what value is this adding to me? Or what value am I adding to my friends? I always want to give all of my friends an experience to where when they walk away, they're able to text me or call me and say, I really, really appreciate you for what you said. Or, I really appreciate you for pouring into me. And, those are the kind of friendships that we need to cultivate. We need to be able to cultivate those relationships where we have girlfriends that really, really do pour. We got some friends that just want to kick it. And that's okay. That's okay. We got some friends that just want to be outside and just want to kick it. And it's a time and place for that as well. And I'm not saying that we can't do any of that. I'm just saying I really, really do appreciate those friendships where we sit down and we have those hard conversations where we like, what you doing with yourself? Like, what goals do you have? Like, what are you doing? What are you building? Where do you see yourself, in the next couple of years? Like, what is it that you're working on? And we ask those questions because we want to kind of help you navigate through that. As your friend, I can help hold you accountable because you said you wanted to do this. So I'm here to push you to whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I really, really love those friendships that cause you to think, that, think outside the box. And it's not about a kiki and a kicking it all the time. Although I love me a good kiki and a good drink and, some good outside girls. I love that. I love it. I just really, really, really do love that. So I love all of the pieces that comes along with our friendships and our relationships and just being able to build those friendships. Gia says, my sisters call me a married single woman. Girl, listen, Gia, we be outside. We be outside, sis. Be like, it be so funny. My husband be asking me, well, what all trips you got planned? Where you going next? Hey, Sammy. Sammy says, hey, Pink Table Topics in chat. Gonna catch the replay later, but I'll be in the bushes working and listening. Thanks, sis. I appreciate you. Thanks for pulling up. Teresa said, that's a good one, Gia. A married single woman. Right, because we be outside. That's okay. Teresa says, after my BC surgery, I went into a full disconnect mode. I didn't want to see or talk to anybody but my mom, and she's in heaven. After 2 months, them heifers was at my door. Thank God for them. Absolutely. We'll give you a break, but you best believe we coming after that. Like, all right, now enough is enough. Deborah says, I have become that friend who is starting to close off my girlfriends, and they will come over to the house knocking on the door and checking to see if I'm okay. Well, it's good that they come and check. And that's a good thing to ask yourself. Do y'all evaluate y'all friend circles? Do y'all evaluate the friendships that you have and the sister circles that you are a part of? And because we know our friends, we know the one who don't want to be outside and always good for a good kiki and a good drink. We know the one who is gonna pray for you and keep you lifted and pour into you. We know the one who go like, okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of days and then I'm gonna roll up. I'm gonna pull up. We know the one that's gonna be that mouthpiece for you when you need that mouthpiece. Like, we know, like, do you evaluate your friends and just really know your friends, and you learn their habits and their behavioral traits and all of the things? Like, I'm really like an overthinker, and I don't believe in gray areas, y'all, at all. I don't believe in gray areas with my friendships. I don't believe in gray areas with my husband. I don't believe in gray areas at the job. I believe in black and white. Give it to me in black and white. I don't want no room for error. I don't want to have to figure you out. I don't want you to come in throwing any subliminals and say people don't check on me. Well, did you tell anybody something you were going through something and all of this kind of stuff? Like, don't be posting or saying subliminal stuff. And then, you start to have an attitude about something. And then when I ask you what's wrong, and then your response is, well, I figured you would have just picked up the phone and called, or I figured you would have responded this way. Well, you know what? Did we ever have a conversation about that? Like, can we stop putting all of these expectations? When did friendships become so full of expectations? Like, there are so many friendship expectations that we put, and it's almost like some of these friends be having like these friendship contracts that we don't even know about. And you already have made up in your mind, in order for you to be my friend, you got to do A, B, C, D, and E. And if you don't do that, I'm going to cut you off. I had no idea that those were your expectations as a friend. If we need to have, that's why we need to have these conversations. We need to learn each other. We need to talk about each other's triggers and, our likes and our just like it is when you're going into a relationship with a significant other. You need to have those same kind of conversations with your girlfriends too, to talk about what each other like. Don't just pop up and think that it's okay to pop up if you didn't have a conversation with me, or don't expect that I would have done something and we ain't even had a conversation. Like, whatever happened to just talking stuff out before we just throw in the towel? We're throwing the towel so quick. Like, talk stuff out so that we can. And sometimes it just be little misunderstandings that we'll throw a whole 5-10 year relationship away for a minor misunderstanding. Or we'll throw relationships away because I'm going to ride with this one because I like this one more. Even though she wrong, I'm going to hold her up in her wrong and I'm going to stick beside her. I don't want you to be that kind of friend for me. Don't hold me up in my wrong just under the guise of, quote unquote, that's just how she is. No, ma'am. Don't let me just be, that's how I am. Hold me accountable. Call me out and let me know when I'm not doing something right and when I'm wrong in something. And I should be able to receive that because it should be coming from a good place because we call each other friends. Hold me accountable. Call me out on my stuff. Don't let me just walk around and you just keep having to make excuses for me. I acted out. Now you got to go to everybody else in the friend group like, girl, you just know how, that just how she is. That's not an excuse. Stop making excuses for your friends. When you really love and value those friends, call them out on their stuff and stop making excuses for them. And just because that's how you've always been, that's an issue. Because if you've always been that way, and that's not a good thing or a good place for you to be, you need to evaluate some things within yourself so that you can change. It doesn't make it right because that's how you've always been. You've always been like that because nobody held you accountable. Nobody called you out on your BS. Everybody just let you be that. And you don't need to just be that. We need to start calling these people out. We're talking about navigating friendships. And this is how we navigate friendships. We hold each other accountable. We hold each other accountable. Deborah says, I can relate because since losing my mom, I notice I'm starting to cut friends off and they're not. Okay, I think I read that one. Teresa says, please don't put me in a position to have to choose because I promise you would be disappointed. I know that's right. Please. Yes. Janice says, being accountable. Absolutely. Teresa says, yes, I know all of my friends. They all got a role to play and don't even realize it. Absolutely. And we be knowing. Delisha says, I am evaluating my cousins that I hang around. They are female cousins married into the family. Okay. And that's okay. We all should be evaluating the people we are taking up space with because all of these people add something to us. We need to evaluate the people that we hang around. Let's Be Clear says, I apologize to a friend for not calling late. She said, nope, I know you will call when you want to talk. It's my job to be there. Absolutely. And we have to allow people the space to grow through whatever it is that they're going through without, again, always automatically assuming the worst situation or always just inserting ourselves. And we so guilty about that. We'll insert ourselves into a situation or feel a certain kind of, well, why she didn't call me and or why she called that person and told that person. Everything ain't meant for you. Everything is not meant for you. Again, you don't have to know everything. And sometimes you'll have, if you have a friend group, you cannot expect that I'm going to share something with be open to sharing everything with everybody. Sometimes I feel like, you know what? This person gets me more. This person is going to hold me accountable. So I can share this with that person because I know she ain't going to sugarcoat nothing. She going to tell me what it is and how it is. If I tell this person, they may not fully understand what it is I'm talking about, and they can't really, help me navigate what I'm trying to navigate. And maybe I won't share with that person. It does not mean that I love you any less. It just means that I chose to share it with this person versus you. That's not, I never feel a way about that. I have never been a person to where I felt the way because you shared something, because there's times that I knew something and nobody else at the table knew I knew it. Not even the person that it was about. They never knew I knew it. And I never say a word, because I feel like when a person is ready to share something with you, they will share on their own terms. And if they never tell you, they never tell you. But I don't feel a way about it. I don't feel a way because you didn't feel comfortable enough to share, with me right away. And that's okay, because you got to warm up to people, or sometimes things just are not meant for you. It's just not meant for you. It does not mean that I'm trying to be secretive. It does not mean that I'm trying to hold out. You may be a person that just share everything. You don't care who at the table. You just share everything, or you'll just call and just let it all out. And that's absolutely okay too. But again, you cannot expect me to do it just because you do it. You again are expecting you out of another person. You are expecting you out of another person. Hey, Simone. Thanks for joining, sis. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's Be Clear says, my ex-friend is a yeller and she's very bossy. I told her that doesn't work for me. That's me. I've like that. I've been like that all of my life. I told her it's time for growth and change at least. Absolutely. And you have to be at a space, in a space to where, we should be able to talk to each other and say, sis, I don't know. I don't like the way, you do this, or I don't like the way you talk to me when you talk to me. And we should be able to receive that without feeling offended. We should be able to receive that without getting mad or upset, because I'm your sister. You should want to hear it from me before you hear it from anybody else as well. You should definitely want to hear from me. Let me try to pull up this video. Give me 1 second so that we can listen to some pieces. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put you on mute for a second until I play the video. One second, ladies. I'm trying to get it to the mark that I need it to be at. It's a lot of commercials. I'm trying to fast forward past the commercials. I'm coming, ladies. 1 second. Thanks for your patience. She got a lot of commercials, and this video was an hour long, so I'm trying to fast forward. Right now, she's going through the phase of telling each friend what they mean to her, and why she chose them as her friend. Okay, let me pull it over. Let's share my screen. Can y'all see that? Let me know if y'all can see. Let me turn the volume up on the video to make sure you all can hear it. Let me turn the volume up on the computer and let's listen.
This is my first Friendsgiving.
Oh, I love that.
I've never had a Friendsgiving, and to have you guys here, it just means so much to me. It really does. It really does. I'm gonna start by asking a very simple question in friendship and about friendship, and anybody can jump out there. Okay, y'all ready?
Yes. Yeah. So serious.
It was y'all like,
Okay.
for me. All right, let's talk about what it means to actually keep your friends. You know, at the end of the year, every year, everybody's online like talking about the relationships they're about to end. You see? And I feel like, no, I think that's necessary. It comes with, you know, the ebbs and flows of relationships. But at the same time, I don't see enough people talking about what it means to actually keep friends and the things that we do to keep friends. So what are some things y'all do to keep friends?
For me, I understand that life is seasons. And I always use this analogy how, you know, you have your childhood friends. I play basketball. You got your basketball friends, your sorority friends, your business friends. And you feel like, hey, this person ain't growing at the rate that I'm growing. Let me cut them off. When I was starting to grow, I'm like, oh, if you're not growing with me, let me cut them off. And I had to understand that it's like you could take a mule to the water, but you can't make them drink. But you have to understand that Amber now wouldn't be friends from Amber 10 years ago, but who's to say Amber 10 years ago wouldn't turn into Amber now? So that's why I be mindful. I don't cut anyone off. You can kind of distance and still feed it from a distance, but still be there. But I don't really believe in it cutting people off because people change because I've changed. So that's how I feel about.
Really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's good. Because even then, like you think about 10 years ago, the person you were,
Crazy.
and the people that were actually your friends, that's crazy.
Yes.
That's crazy. Well, what you think, Joyce?
No, so I was thinking about what you said about the seasons and being present. Like, if this somebody you want to keep being friends with, right? So it's how can I be your friend better in this season? Like, obviously, with a new baby, you ain't gonna be staying me. So I'm not about to be like needy and cleaning. You got one of them, you know, right? So it's like, how am I present? I think a couple of weeks ago, I was like, you realize we can hang out with the baby because you was like, oh, I got BJ, I got a girl. I know how to deal with kids. So it's how can I be a good friend in that season? Like, or it's like, oh, then it'll be the person. She just, you know, when I had a baby, they just disappeared because they didn't know how to navigate. You know, so I think it's just how can I be present? You just get married, right? So it's obviously she by her man. Like, why would you be acting like? Now it's like, okay, now. Friend, hey, can we go to lunch? You know, but it's give that girl some time. Like she trying to figure out that life together. So it's whatever that life look like. It's if you want to be, you will. You know how we say about me. You if you want to though, for real, you will. You'll find a way. So that's fine.
If you want to show up for your
If you
friend.
want to show up for your friend, you will. If I want to keep you around, if I see a good opportunity, this was the time to let that person go. You gonna take that exit. But
What about you, Lot?
I think keeping good friends, forgiving for real.
yeah.
Like, I think that, well, I know for me, I used to look at forgiving as like something you get like a noun, you know what I'm saying? But it's a verb. And it's something that you do constantly. So like, it's a conscious decision. Like when you see somebody, you choose to forgive again, and you have to forgive again and again and again. You know what I'm saying? And so like the constant forgiving, even from one incident, I feel like it's like a conscious decision to show grace. You got to keep showing grace. You got to keep, so the lesson I've learned to keep friends is just constant forgiving, because I need constant forgiving, from God. And so if you want to, the Bible says to get friends, you show yourself friendly.
That's
you know what I'm
good.
saying? So if you want to have those type of friends, you have to be the type of friend that you want.
That's great.
So forgiving has been my biggest check mark lately.
That's
so,
really good. I think that's
yay me.
important. I'm pivoting now.
Pivot.
I think that's really important to forgive. I think that's necessary. I think, especially as a believer, like we need to forgive. We need to extend grace. But then I feel like, I don't want to say but, and there are
My energy bill dropped from $150 to $50 by doing this. My friends laughed at me when I spent $49 on
depending on the situation, there's a cause for like distance. So how I don't want the question to be when do you stop forgiving, but when do you know, in terms of keeping friends, to what extent does it go before you realize like, hey, this is probably not a good connection for me?
Well, at that point, I believe does this person add value to my life? Like, do I benefit from this person being my friend? Do they benefit from me being their friend? And so I feel like if there is a clash there where I feel like, oh, well, no, I don't really get much from her or whatever, like I don't, then I feel like then it's time to sever the relationship, But if this person is adding value to me, actually making me better, and I'm just just being petty or whatever, I'm saying, just outside of all that, I feel like you just got to know if somebody is valuable enough to even keep that, even want to move forward with that. And so that's who I feel like I call friend, like that person. Now other people that just, you just whatever. But, it's just, do you mean this much to me? So I mean, I think that's the line.
I gotta ask Stan about forgiving, because the very first episode of Friend Fusion is Operation Restoration. And I don't think when I reached out to you, I think I was okay if you would have forgiven me. And I was okay if you wouldn't have forgiven me, because I could perfectly understand. Because like you said, Amber, the friend you were 10 years ago, Jesus. Hey, yeah, it's like, so I would have perfectly understood. But tell me, because I think you are like a very forgiving person. Very forgiving. Like you really are. You really are a forgiving person. How do you do that and maintain the love you have for people? Because I think even like in our restoration, I think it took intentional conversation and time, but I didn't feel like you treated me weird or something.
Well, I will say, I'll piggyback off of what Joy said.
Okay.
I think you have to understand seasons, and we're going to be in different seasons at different times, and so while you may have been in a season where you needed that grace, and I may have been okay, I'm going to need grace one day too. So I'm going to be in this season, and I think for me, I just remind myself that like, you don't have it all together. One day you're going to need this person the same, so I think for me, the biggest thing is, I'm a fan of people being accountable. You were accountable. If I can have a conversation that you can be accountable, I can probably almost mend anything with anybody, because I'm a big fan of accountability. And I think that when you reached out and you were just saying you wanted to meet up, and when we talked, it was not being defensive. It wasn't what I could have done better. Even though I was able to address things because you were focused on you and what you felt like you did wrong. We were able to just have a conversation about our own wrongdoings or where we made mistakes or fell short. And it's just important for me for people to be accountable. And I think that was the winner for me.
That makes forgiveness possible. It's like
Yes.
two-sided. It's not just like forgiving, but it's also repentance.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like the accountability portion. Yeah, that's really good. I'm glad you brought that into play, because when you think about being a forgiving person, sometimes people feel like, oh, my heart is just too big. My heart is just too big. You know what I mean? But it's different when you're forgiving someone, and that's not to say you don't forgive other people, but it's just different when a person shows up accountable. You know what I mean? In terms of friendship, I think all of us have probably navigated a friendship breakup, right? Why did your friendship break up? The last one hurt you the way that it did, Simone?
I think at that time,
I think it's another commercial.
Your ADHD friend avoids busy places? Then this is the one gift that truly supports them. Quick reminder, the best.
And let me pause it. This is good. For one, I love this. Have you ever had a Friendsgiving or a certain environment like this, to where you gathered all of your friends and y'all had these kind of conversations? Have any of you done that? I do this all the time. And I love this. This is what I mean when we get together and we have these kind of conversations that really do add value, because we're learning each other. We're learning the likes and dislikes of each other. We're learning each other's personalities. We're pouring into each other at the same time, but we are just understanding each other on a deeper level, because I was just telling one of my friends earlier, a lot of times when you're in the moment and we just outside kicking it, we going here, there, and doing things, and we have an agenda or an itinerary that we're sticking to. We don't always have the opportunities to stop, slow down, and have these kinds of conversations. So with your friend circles, these kind of conversations are necessary. I'll tell anybody, like, have you a Friendsgiving, because not only am I pouring into my friends and just telling them how important they are to me, but we talking about this stuff amongst the group. We're, talking about these hard conversations, and you can hear clearly how everybody has a different answer, but it's no wrong answer, because this is truly how they feel about each other as friends. And this is how it's showing how each individual participant, they handle things differently. They actually handle things different in different ways. Like, we're all sitting at this table, we're all girlfriends, we're all building this friendship, but we all handle things totally different, and we want different things. And I feel like this is important, because if we can hear the person clearly sitting at the table saying, you know what, you don't have to call me every day, or you don't have to invite me to everything, or, I show grace because I'm not really holding, I'm not really thinking that it's a negative thing because you decided to step back, or whatever the case may be. But each person maneuvers the relationship totally different. And I think that this is what really makes the friendships strong. I really do. Teresa says, my mood used to change like the seasons. I could be called winter, spring, summer, or fall. Thanks for growing up and realizing the world didn't revolve around me. Absolutely. Girl, the world does not revolve around us at all. And Simone said earlier, she's all about quality and not quantity. Less is more for me. Maybe it's an Aquarius thing. I agree, sis. Less is more. And again, it's your preference. It's what works for you. It really is. I keep wanting to call her by her real name, but Melanin says, no, but I thought about it. You should definitely do it, sis. You should definitely. It's so freeing to me. And I love to do these because I love to, like, let's get into each other's head. Let's see what we're thinking. And let's see how because this is the only way you can really learn your sister circle. You have these type of settings to where, we're all sitting here, we're dining together, we're in conversation with each other, and we're talking about stuff. So I do this all the time. I do like a little question. I put questions in a little, in a bowl, and we pass the bowl around the table, and everybody pull a question, and you read the question, and then everybody else have the opportunity to answer the question. And you'll be surprised at seeing who answers the question alike, or all the other different perspectives. So it's definitely something to do. Teresa says we do the gatherings, but not the conversation. And that's the thing. We need to have the conversations. We need to have the conversations. Janice says, not yet, but it's definitely needed since we're spending time with one another. Absolutely. Janice also says, yes, we do the gatherings, but some are reluctant to use their words. Absolutely. And that's why we have to force these type of interactions, so that we do use our words. We do use our words. And what the other young lady said, understanding that life has seasons, and that we will all be in different seasons at different times. Ain't that something? Because I may be going through a season that you've already been through already. Or you may be in a season that I've already been through already. And you can't expect me, because you've already bypassed this current season that I'm in. You can't just expect me to move on and get over it, because you've been through it. You had to process it. You had to go through it. So we just really need to understand that we will all be in different seasons at different times. And just being able to ask your friends, how can I be present? Sometimes we got to tell our friends what it is that we need from them. Speak up, use your voice, as Janice was saying. Tell me what it is that you need from me as a friend, because I may genuinely just not know. Sometimes we have to tell our friends how we need them to show up for us, and not hold them accountable when they don't show up the way that we want them to show up. We have to tell them how we need them to show up. And, are we having, great conversations? Erica says sister minus friendships plus great communication equal friendship, respectful friendships. I totally agree. Respectful friendships. Let's move on. And they have a lot of commercials in this. They have a lot of commercials.
It hurt because I don't know. I think I was just into myself, and I didn't understand. I think the word tonight,
and that's her mic. Her mic.
I didn't know how to really, extend grace to her, and everything was just so personal. I took everything so personal. I really couldn't see it from her perspective, and because of that, it just really, there was a hurt there. I'm just thinking about me and my feelings, So,
yeah. Well, Kayla, you're entering into a new season of life. Like, your life has changed within the last almost 2 months. Yeah. And I feel like, I feel like my friendships changed a lot for me because I was 23. But I think it's a little bit different when you're in your 30s and getting married. So how have you navigated the change in the evolution of your life and friends embracing it?
As it relates to being married, I think I have had to be, I know I have had to be more mindful about what I share with my friends, because my friends that I really have been my friends since I was like 14, 15. So I've shared most of everything with them. So now it's like, not even just the quote unquote bad stuff. Like, sometimes you just can't share. Everybody don't need to know everything. Even if it's the good things. So just being more mindful, like paying attention to how people respond to what you say to them. Discernment, like, everybody just don't need to know it all.
That's good. Even when it's something
Even
good.
when it's good.
The good things. What have you learned about that, Amber? Even when it's good, yeah.
How to respond to it?
Sharing things oversharing, even the good things.
I still share if God put it on my heart to share if it's somebody within the close proximity of me. I'm really big on if you are weak in an area or you're flawed in an area and I've sensed that or I pick up on it, I don't repeat it, but I go in prayer about it for you, for God to change that part of you, because to the core, I love you. If I didn't love you, you wouldn't be in my circle. I have a few relationships that it's like 90-10. Like I'm giving 90, I'm probably always going to give 90. It's nothing they'll probably ever be able to do for me, but those are people that God assigned to my life because God want me to do something in their life when it comes to friendship. So a lot of those friendship, I don't look at, hey, what can you do for me? It's doing what God tell me to do for you, and God bringing the people around me to make sure I'm fulfilled in those other areas. So how can a person know that they're acting that way or they're doing that if they're not in a situation where they feel it, they know? And how would they know if you don't share it to even feel that?
So you take it as a teachable moment. Okay, so when you say you see it as a teachable moment, okay, let's just use for example. You share with me, Trin, I just closed on my house. And you feel this forced celebration from me, this kind of resistance, but you know what I mean? How do you teach me that that's not the way?
Months later, when it's in like a Friendsgiving or something that's event that Galentine's or a Christmas party or something like that, I always make sure we have like vulnerable and open moments when we're honest about, hey, is there anything you've done to me, anything that I need to work on, or anything you see that I see that you need to work on, and just being transparent about that. And the older I get, the more I'm able to be transparent in those moments. So a lot of times I don't believe in having a conversation right then because that could offend the person because you're feeling how you're feeling in that moment. So you have to give the person time to recover and understand that you don't know what the person is going through or feeling. Like for me, I'm going through getting my eggs frozen. The closest 9 out of 10 people to me are already married. And so I'm the type where I'm always, happy. I never feel like, I want to be married or have kids. I truly believe that my timing and my plan is my plan. Like God put me in people's lives to help them. But when I went into the egg freezing appointment, it's the first time I'm a little emotional. I'm sitting there and I'm seeing people in there like with their husbands, and that's the first time I ever felt some type of emotion. So I called one of my married friends like, hey, like, I don't think I feel a way, but I feel emotional. Like, can you walk me through this and why? So
Yeah, it's really good. But all of us are learning, basically.
Yeah, and we have to understand that all of us are learning.
And you know what, too? Those little moments that we have with people aren't always, like, rooted in, like, maliciousness. I've had to, like, learn it. Is that a word?
Yeah, we're human.
Yeah. It was just human. Yeah. But then there are moments I'm like, I don't want to talk to you no more. I don't want to be your friend no more because what is happening?
That was your last strike.
Let's talk about it. You know how some people say people know what they be doing? They do.
You gotta have that discernment too.
It's a lot. You can tell who know exactly what they was doing when they did it and how they did it, and they was waiting for your response.
Sometimes people know what they are doing, and then there are times people genuinely don't know what they are doing.
You don't have a clue.
Okay, so how do we deal with things like the people who don't have a clue? When we're so used to people who have absolutely had a clue, they drew the clue. It is so easy to project it on to other people. So how do we like deal with people who genuinely don't know that they are triggering us, hurting us, or doing something to offend us?
I feel like you just addressed it, and you're like, I would always pause and make sure, like, okay, they didn't know, they didn't see how that came off, they didn't hear how they just said it. Like, oh, you're serious. Like I would just address it like right then. And then if I'm in my feelings about it, because I do get to feeling some type of way about things, then I won't address it.
Okay.
And I'll say, I'll find another time to bring it back up. Like this made me feel. And then, because I have to come up with, I didn't grow up around the most emotionally intelligent people, so I have to do a lot of processing. So a lot of times I won't, because I'm like, why do I feel away? Why did that make me feel away? Okay, is that a valid feeling? Like, so I have to go through all of that with myself. So sometimes the moment is going to pass. Because if I pop off, then That's not gonna be good.
You don't have to respond in emotion
Yeah,
too.
you
'Cause
can't.
when emotion go up, intelligence go down. So I
Yeah.
have to.
When
I come from
emotion
a
is high,
family
wisdom is
people
low.
who something happened, you fussing, you fighting. So just as I get older, I'm like, I gotta learn to
I love
keep
what
my
you said.
emotions
You said
down.
when emotions go up.
Intelligence go down.
Yep. My pastor says when emotion is high, wisdom is low.
That's good.
You cannot operate in wisdom when you're emotional.
I want somebody here at this table to tell me about a friendship you blew up because you did not have no wisdom. You had all emotion.
Okay, we'll pause it there. Let me remove it. Let me pause it. Did y'all like that? I want please go catch the full episode of Friend Fusion. Go catch the full episode of this Friendsgiving. It close it, turn it off. But definitely go make sure you check out the full episode of Friend Fusion. It's Friend Fusion on let me make sure. Yes, Teresa put it in there. Friend Fusion is season 4, episode number 56. Season 4, episode number 56. It is absolutely amazing. Lisa says, none of my friends are telepathic that I know of. So if I have an issue, I let them know and expect the same in return. Absolutely. Open communication. Open communication. But this podcast was absolutely amazing. Just this segment, I really, really enjoyed. I sat and I watched the entire hour. It's a whole hour, and it's absolutely amazing. You will hear how each of the women are sharing around the table. And one thing that really stood out to me was when one of the young ladies said that God will assign people into your life because there's something he needs you to do in their life. God will assign people into your life because there's something he needs you to do in their life. That was deep. When I say I have 3 pages front and back off of this, if you've never done a Friendsgiving, do a Friendsgiving. It don't even have to be like this. Have a girls' night at your house, somewhere to where y'all can be cozy. It's just y'all. You don't have the hustle and bustle of, being in a restaurant and all of that kind of stuff. And have the opportunity to just sit down and have this friendship conversation with each other so that you can hear the different perspectives. And that's what I loved about it, because all of these are her friends, but they all come with different perspectives. They all come with different expectations. They all come with, different things that they pour into each other. And it just shows that although we are here loving each other, loving the same individuals that's around this table, we still are very different. We're all very different. Like, we are alike in ways, but we're all uniquely who we are and who God made us to be. But this is what it looks like to cultivate your relationships, to cultivate your friendships. And this is what it's all about, especially when it's a friendship that you value, when it's a friendship that you love, you value, you trust, and you want to continue growing with this friendship, this relationship. You need to pour into those relationships. We need to make sure that we're also doing our part when it comes to making sure we are nurturing the friendships. It can't be one-sided. It's a two-way street, and we have to make sure we're all pouring in to each other, and we're all doing our part when it comes to, because I just be interested, especially when, hearing other people's perspective. I love to pick your brain. I love to hear your thought process, because it could be something that you could say that I never thought about. And that is it piques my interest so much. So I love like dialogue like this. I love, us talking about certain topics and talking about certain things, and just seeing how we each relate differently with these certain topics and conversations, especially with friendships, especially when it comes to us trying to continue building and growing. Because like I say, life is hard, y'all. Life is lifing. A lot of us are going through stuff. A lot of us are dealing with situations that, may be a little bit too hard for us to discuss right now. It's the holiday season. Emotions are everywhere. People are just dealing with stuff. And the last thing we want to have to be dealing with is fighting for our friendships and our relationships. We want to always have those spaces to where we know we can go to if we need it to go to. I really, really love it. We can I won't say next Tuesday is our book club, so we won't do that. But I'm going to do a part 2 to this, because I definitely want us to continue listening to this so that we can talk about it. I'm all about sisterhood. We getting ready to go into the new year. It's about to be 2026. And this is the time, like they were saying in the video, this is a time where we start to reevaluate where we are, who we're with, who we're carrying into the new year. Granted, there are some friendships that we need to leave in 2025. There's some relationships we need to let go of. Some folks won't be going into the next season with us, and that's okay. And we need to know how to really navigate through that process, and learning how to set boundaries with, and some people we got to learn how to set boundaries with. And just because I set a boundary don't mean that I feel a way about you. Sometimes we just got to set friendship boundaries, and you have to be okay with that. They have to be okay with that. It's all about us setting those boundaries and respecting one another. Respecting. Yes, Teresa, thank you so much. Teresa says this is a great topic. Love it. Yes, Janice, hashtag sisterhood all day, every day. All day, every day. So I hope you all enjoyed the topic as much as I did. I was able to learn so much, and I really do, like I was saying, I want us to make sure we revisit this. But I want you all to go watch the full episode, so when we do come back and do part 2, you will be able to relate to the conversation, and you'll be able to see it, so that I don't have to play the video, because she has a lot of commercials. She's got a lot of likes and shares on this video, and she's got a lot of commercials that keep interrupting the video. So I would prefer if you would actually go listen to it yourself. I promise you it's some valuable information in there. Some of the things you may already be doing and already applying to your friendships currently, but I promise you will not be disappointed if you go back and listen to the whole thing. So definitely go listen at it. Go listen to it. Take some notes, and we're going to come back with a part 2 and talk about it. Don't forget, next week, Tuesday, as I was stating, our book club. It's our Book Divas Pink Table Book Club. We'll be meeting next Tuesday. It won't be a regular Pink Table Topics live. It'll actually be our Pink Table Book Club. So we're going to be reading and discussing the Mistress Inc. by Naomi Bryant. So we'll be doing that. So as we come to a close on tonight's conversation, I really, really want to say to all of you, friendships, good, healthy friendships can be the wind beneath your wings. I love my friends, all of you that I call my sisters, my friends. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I love that we can lift each other up. We can encourage and heal each other. We can talk through things. We can remind each other that we're not alone. And it is so important for us to make sure we are surrounded by women who we feel safe with. Y'all know this is a safe space over here. So if you have women in your life who love and support you, those who are growing with you, it's a blessing. Oh my gosh, it is such a blessing to be surrounded by great friends and good sister circles, and just having great friendship. It is such a blessing. And if you are one that don't have that and you still searching, hold on, sis, be intentional, protect your peace, trust the season. Trust the season. Trust the season. And I promise you, God will send you your circle. He will send you your circle. So we're going to end, as always, we're going to end in a prayer. We're going to end in prayer, and we're going to govern ourselves accordingly. Father God, we come before you with grateful hearts tonight, thanking you for the beauty of connection and the gift of sisterhood. Thank you, oh God, for every woman that has graced this place, that you allowed to cross this path, those that you have allowed to sit at this table, those who have lifted us, who have challenged us, who have inspired us, and even those whose chapters in our lives have closed. Every relationship taught us something. And for that, Lord, we say thank you. Lord, tonight we ask for wisdom to know which friendships to nurture, wisdom to know which friendships that we need to release with peace, and which ones that you are calling for us to handle with more grace, patience, and understanding. Lord, we ask that you strengthen us to show us fully in the relationships that are aligned with our purpose. Help us to be present, oh God. Help us to be compassionate and intentional. Women who love well, listen well, and build well. Send us those people, oh God. For anyone healing from friendship, hurt, or loss, Lord, we ask that you wrap them in your comfort. Remind them that endings are not failures. Sometimes they are divine redirections. And Lord, cover every circle represented here tonight. May our friendships be safe spaces, be places for us to grow, laughter, accountability, and joy. And Lord, we ask that you let loyalty be mutual, let it be consistent, and Lord, let your love be genuine. And Lord, as we move forward, we ask that you surround us with women who speak life, women who pray for us, women who celebrate us, and women who walk with us. Teach us to also be that kind of woman. We thank you, oh God, for community. We thank you for connection. And Lord, we thank you for the sisters near and far who make life sweeter. Lord, this prayer we pray in the precious name of your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen, amen, and amen. Thank you, God, for sisterhood. Thank you all for Pink Table Topics, for all of you that joined us tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love each and every one of you. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Thank you all for joining me tonight. This was an amazing topic. I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. Y'all know I love all things sisterhood. I love all things women. Anytime it's about sisterhood, I'm up for the challenge. You hear me? So thank you to everybody that joined us. Until next time at Pink Table Topics, I pray that you all have a great night. Go have yourself a good night. And if you can't have a good night, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. Until next time, I will chat with you soon. Have a good night, ladies.